there've been tools out there for encrypting stuff
Yep.
for a very, very long time.
Yep.
I mean, PGP was one of them. I mean, it was quite complex to use. But there are all sorts of, even encrypting a zip file, is some step. So, I mean, as individuals and as corporations, there have always been ways to do it, but we
Yep.
just choose not to do it. Or there's a laissez-faire.
The reason is because it's for a couple of reasons. One is obviously depends on the level of requirement of encryption. If you're expected to encrypt specific information in your organization,
It depends on the value of the data.
Exactly. But then again, all data is valuable.
To whom? Yeah.
Exactly. It's all context. So whoever's looking at the data depends
Yes.
on the value of the data. But it all depends on the investment requirement. So it's a balancing act. Risk assessment method. All right. What's our risk exposure? Do we invest the money to ensure that we reduce that risk exposure? But those controls are good. They're a very good start. But the thing is, they're fallible. They're very, very easily bypassed by someone who's persistent.
Yes.
But if you're going to have like high value data in place, you're going to need to look at specialist encryption. So things like if you're carrying a mobile device, you might want drive encryption, but as well as file and folder encryption. Okay, so which basically gives you two types of encryptions. But yes, encryption is a good mechanism, but again, that doesn't steer away from the fact that even if you send encrypted data abroad, you're still sending data abroad where you might not be allowed to send it. But again, the controls within the legislation says information security, how do you control it? Just, you need to make sure that you're actually trying to do something. You can't just sit back and say, well, we're not really.
You've got to make steps.
You've got to make steps. You've got to make an effort. It's not something you can just, ignore, because admittedly, the smaller organizations out there, they're not going to be one of the few, the ones that are going to be targeted by the regulator.